Alright, so I'm here to work on my race car here on the little Opel, Buick, Isuzu, Gemini, Holden, and everything else that comes with it. After the last race, there were some minor issues that prevented us from running 100% on the racetrack, so I want to go through them and try to upgrade them before, or fix them before the next race, which is going to be in May, and now it's in November. So it's going to get really cold here very fast, so I want to put in some hours now, because you never know when it's going to actually thaw out and be miserable enough that I can actually work on this and not freeze my fingers off like many times before. So I'm gonna walk you through this. This is like the first episode, maybe first and the last. You never know. Anyways, on the agenda today is to remove the exhaust manifold and the downpipe, measure the clearance for the carburetor spacing. I want to put an independent carburetor thing from a motorcycle. Take that off, drain the water out of this thing, put in antifreeze because it's already getting to freezing points here at night. It's in Pennsylvania, like mid Pennsylvania. Yeah. Let's get started. Good stuff. Oh, damn. Alright, so just disconnected the header from the top, took everything whatever I could from the top, put the car up on the jack stands. It appears to be safe, so I'm gonna go under, try to get the bottom connection severed. Sadly I cannot take you on that joyride, just have to wait and see. Magic! Anyways, this is the old exhaust manifold, this is a new exhaust manifold. There's minor differences. Why not, of course. So, let me point them out. Alright, so, first of all, where this thing failed, right here. There's supposed to be a little donut gasket thing. Well, it's not there anymore. There was something and then disappeared, so, oh well. If I want to change this, I have to pretty much weld this, hit this nuts off, which was not possible because this would not come off. Now if you have a race car, and now it's my personal experience, if you use a clamp like this on your exhaust, it'll never come off, that you can reuse. You can bang and smash as much as you like, it's not coming off. So that's gonna change. I'm changing this one from this kind of mount to a V-band. I already have a V-band, so I'm gonna weld that on, put one more of this behind it, and it should be fairly easy to put on. Right, so the next thing that's different is the ports on this exhaust is square, and I can see that even though they were square, they were not really lined properly, but these ports are round. So if I put this up here and align it, you can see that a little bit of the meat is not where it's supposed to be. This one, just a touch here. So I'm gonna port match this. So I'm just gonna remove a little bit on the edges so it kind of blends in better. Just because it's off the car right now, I can easily do this. After that, I won't be able to do it. So the big question is, why am I doing this? Well, first of all, because it's broken. That's why I wanted to fix it. It was working fine before, but the car is slow, like painfully slow. So when I up the speed a little bit, if I can get another 10 horsepower on this, that's going to be an increase of 10% on the car. It's going to be a big difference at the end of the day. So here's the difference between this kind of manifold and this. When the exhaust valve opens, right, it just opens, you have exhaust coming out. Now when it just opens, it's very high energy and high pressure because the combustion just happened. It's shooting out as fast as it can. As the combustion gases escape and the piston goes up to close up, if there's a back pressure behind the exhaust valve, like from the exhaust manifold or muffler or whatever else, not all of the gases will escape. You're gonna have some pressure still inside the combustion chamber no matter what you do, and then you're gonna have the intake and exhaust valve overlap when they just open slightly together, and now you have exhaust pressure inside the cylinder that is not gonna help to get the fresh air and gas into the engine. So there's a couple of ways to do this, and already did this on this car. It's a free flow exhaust from here all the way to the tailpipe. I put a glass pack on it. It's quiet enough where it's bearable inside the car even without the earplugs, but this is gonna give it more power. So the way this works is when, and this goes to the length of the primary tubing, which is the length of this tube or any of this. And this one is just this. So this is the same type of manifold, 4-to-1. So 4 tubes merge into one. 4 tubes merge into one. When you have the exhaust leaving, when it's just open up, it's high velocity, like I said before. It's high velocity going through here. So it's a lot of mass going at very high speed, going through this tubing. Like this, well, this bend is not that great, but it's going through this and escaping. Now you have a mass of flowing that way, a high velocity mass, which creates, let's say, inertia of that matter as it goes out. When the piston goes up and almost to the end, when the exhaust valve is trying to close, when there's not much gases left in it, because there's inertia of mass going through this tube, creates a vacuum right here. And the longer this tube, the higher the vacuum is going to generate. So per the same velocity, this is going to generate a higher vacuum at this point than this exhaust could ever do, because this is only this long compared to many lengths more on this one. So that's what helps it. So now when the intake and exhaust valve open, all of a sudden there's a scavenging effect happening where it sucks all the fresh fuel and fresh air and fuel right into the combustion chamber. Some of it will get passed through the exhaust valve, and as it closes, but that's for emission purposes, so don't worry about it. It's a race car. But now the intake manifold has a velocity very early, just when the piston started to go down. It allows it to fill up faster and easier. So now you're not going to get that much of a resonance inside the tubing, inside the intake manifold. Otherwise, would hurt the suction, the stuff. Right? So this helps it a lot, and hopefully it'll go faster. Hopefully it won't break, because this thing loves to break a lot. Now, if this is going to fit, I'm going to test fit right now. The things I want to change on this thing is I'm going to add O2 sensor plug here, just like this one, so I could tune the carburetor and other goodies. I also purchased EGT sensors, 4 of them, so I'm going to install them into each one, and that's for the future, because there's other future plans for this thing. So once I have this kind of gizmos attached to this thing, I won't have to add them later. It's super easy to do it now. So yeah, so V-band, O2 sensor, EGT, port match this, and wrap it so that it's cooler under the hood, because the wrap does work as long as it doesn't drench in oil. It will not self-ignite. There you go. So let's see. Let's test fit this thing. Ooh, that's hard. I'm gonna go. Gah! Bandit is on. Right on the right finger too. Gah! Okay, so doesn't look like I'll be able to swing it without taking the engine mount off, because we're not on the bottom there, and I cannot shove it down more because it hits there. The fears have been realized. Okay. Well, if the engine mount has to come off, the engine mount has to come off. Stupid race car. Let's see, is it 17 or 19 here? 17. And that's, I believe, 17 as well. I probably should find gloves. But, yeah, I'm not gonna bother with this stuff. Just, let's see. Just magic. Alright, so the exhaust manifold is a total fail. Well, you live a little, you bleed a lot, and then you fail. So there you go. I guess the stock one is going back in. Not much I can do about that. So plans for more horsepower has been kind of sidetracked a little bit. So I'm gonna work on the stock one. I'm gonna see if I can remove the nuts without anything else happening too much. It's already getting late. I'm not sure what time it is. But looks of it, I have another maybe an hour and a half of light, so I can work on stuff. I probably should turn this around and have a good light.